Welcome to How to Record Drums, the premier video podcast for getting the most out of your drum recordings.
In this how-to, we're going to cover the basics of miking the overhead cymbals with the XY stereo miking technique. The goal here is to provide some basic concepts and techniques for capturing a balanced sound and stereo image. The three basic cymbals on a drum kit are the hi-hat, crash, and ride cymbals. Now, since the hi-hat is covered in another how-to, we'll focus mainly on the crash and ride. The crash cymbal's main duty is to accent hits in the song, and some drummers may have quite a few of these hanging around their kit. Manufacturers of cymbals like Zildjian, Sabian, and Pasty not only create crashes of varying sizes, but also tonal quality, from very dark to super bright. The ride cymbal gets its name from the riding patterns that drummers typically play. Our cymbal is a 20-inch Zildjian K-Custom dark ride, and as you might imagine, it's more mellow than other rides and produces less bite. In this how-to, we're going to use two mics of the same make and model to obtain a consistent sound across a stereo image. Here we're using AKG C414s. These are dual diaphragm condenser microphones with a frequency response from 20 Hz to 20 kHz. The 414s have switchable polar patterns, which are cardioid, hypercardioid, omnidirectional, and bidirectional. For our purposes, we're going to set their patterns to cardioid, which captures a more directional sound. Now, on the other side of the mic, there are two switches. The pad providing a 10 or 20 dB attenuation, and a bass roll-off for cutting frequencies below 75 or 150 Hz. Although there are many stereo overhead miking techniques, we're going to cover the commonly used XY configuration. In this setup, our two 414s are positioned to create a 90-degree angle to one another. We'll place the mics about 4 feet above the cymbals, positioned over the center of the kit. One mic will pick up the left side of the kit, and the other will pick up the right side of the kit. Although the XY miking pattern will capture a smaller stereo picture of the kit, it will give us phase coherency since all the information is reaching both mics at approximately the same time. With the tracks panned left and right, let's have a listen. When recording overheads, there are basically two schools of thought: capturing the cymbals and the entire kit, or the cymbals-only approach. To achieve the cymbals-only approach, try rolling off everything from 500 to 800 Hz during the mixdown. This will basically reduce the sound of the other instruments in the overhead tracks for greater control in the mixdown process. In this how-to, we reviewed the characteristics of the crash and ride cymbals, discussed the AKG C414s, and explained the XY stereo miking technique. At this point in our typical miking setup, we would have all the mics positioned. Now, once this is done, it's important to get an overall blend and check recording levels by having the drummer play the kit. For additional information, check out our sound check how-to in this How to Record Drums series.